Good afternoon, those in 8-7 math book, lesson 81. As you can see, since last time you saw me, I grew out my hair and I turned it blonde. And just the way it is, kind of reminds me of my college days. Okay, Tia, so I'm going to teach lesson 81 to you. I'm going to do the two examples they have, and then I'm going to do one of the practices for you up here. So here we go. Okay, so it deals with proportions to solve problems. So they're going to want you to draw a box and place in the numbers and then solve it. So this is for, let's see, example 1. And it says 40%. So notice I got a percentage column and I've got a count. I've got not seen, seen, and my total. So it says 40% of the leprechauns had never seen the pot of gold. If there's 480 that have seen it, they want to know how many leprechauns have not seen it. So it turns out being a ratio problem. So I've got 40 over 60. So I always look at what I have, and I've n over 80, 480. Cross multiply. 480 times 40 gives me 19,200. 60 times n, 60 times n. So then I'm going to take that 19,200 and that 60n, divide both by 60. So that's going to cross out here. And I'm going to divide that into 60 into 1920, ends up with my answer being 320. So that's our first example. This is example 2. And it states that 27 of the 45 total worked in the toy factory for the night shift. What percent of these elves worked in the night shift? So I've got these two numbers over each other, 27 over 45. And n over 100. Cross multiply, 27 times 100, 100, 45 times n. So now I've got 45n times 2,700. Divide both sides by 45. Okay, I cross out my 45 here. Then I've got n. When I divide that, it would be 60, but they want a percentage, so it would be 60%. Okay, so now I'm going to do number 1. So first I'm going to draw my box. Got percentage, count, total. Okay, so it says 21 of the 70 acres, so there's my total. 21 of the 70 acres is planted in alfalfa. What percent of the acres were not planted in alfalfa? Not alfalfa. Okay, they want to know what percentage. So they want to know what percentage were not. Okay, so now what I have to do here, this is a little tricky. I need, okay, my total here is 70, let's see, they didn't give me enough information. Let's see. 21 of 70 acres. What percent of the acres were not planted in alfalfa? Okay, so I'm going to have, I'm going to have to look at this one a little bit. 21 over 40, we got 100% here, okay, and I don't know this. Okay, so it's going to be n over 100 equals 21 over 70. I'm going to go 100 times 21, just doing my zeros, 70n. I'm going to divide both sides by 70. This crosses, cross out that. That would go in there, that means 30. So that means 30% is my answer for that problem. Okay? So that's how you're going to do all these in this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get ready for your next lesson that you can also watch. Okay. Well, hello, Tia. Once again, I'm back for the next lesson. As you can tell, I got kind of tired of my blonde hair and I dyed it and curled it. So we're going to go through this lesson. It deals with area of a circle. So in this lesson, which is lesson 82, area, to find the area of any circle, it's pi times radius squared. Pi can equal three things. It can equal 3.14, 22 over 7, or just pi. So they're going to have you do 3 different types of problems. This was circle with 10 centimeters is my radius. Remember, the radius is from the center to any portion of the outside. This is considered the diameter. So this one, they want me to use 3.14 to solve. So my area, again, is pi times radius squared. So I've got 3.14 times 10, squared. 10 squared is 100. 100 times 3.14. Remember, when we multiply by any power of 10, all I need to do is move my decimal 2 places. There's 2 zeros. 1, 2. So my answer is 314 centimeters squared. In this example, circle 7 inches radius. They want me to use the fraction 22 over 7. So my formula again is pi radius squared. 22 over 7 times my radius 7 squared, which is 49. Okay, 22 over 7 and 49. 7 will go into 49, and it'll leave me with 22 times 7. When I multiply that, it's 154 inches squared. The third type is they just don't want you to multiply pi. Leave it as its symbol. So it's pi radius squared. So it's pi times my radius. Remember, if my diameter is 6, it's 12. It's half of that, so it's 6. 6 squared is 36, leaving pi like that, feet squared. So they're going to ask you when you're doing your problems, they'll tell you which one they want. You just got to do it exactly how they show you. If you have any problems, make sure you get a hold of me. Okay, now I'm going to get ready for the third lesson, and we'll see what I look like when I come back. Okay, T, I'm back. Decided to be a clown right now. I guess I'm a clown probably every day. But we're going to get to your next lesson, which is lesson 83, talking about the powers of 10 in scientific notation. One of your quizzes, and this is a definition you have, when we multiply by the powers of 10, we add the exponents. So what that means is, first, 10 to the 5th power is 1 with 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 3rd is 10. We add the exponents. Plus 5 plus 3 is 8. So this number, instead of writing it all the way out, this is the answer, 10 to the 8th power. 10 to the 6th times a 10 to the negative 8 is 10. Negative 8 plus a positive 6 is a negative 2. 10 to the negative 1 times 10 to the negative 5 is a 10 to the negative 6, just adding two negative numbers. Okay, when we do scientific notation, remember scientific notation is a number written by a whole number, a decimal, and what other numbers follow, times 10 to some type of power. So they're having us multiply these two. So what I do is I multiply 1.2 times 3, which I've got here, is 3.6. Then I go times 10, add the exponents, which is at 5 and 7 is 12. So there's my answer right there. The next one has 4 times 10 to the 6th times 3 times 10 to the 5th. Well, 4 times 3 is 12 times 10. 6 plus 5 is 11. Well, this is not in scientific notation. It's not 1.2, so I have to change it to be 1.2. So what I do is I write this out. I wrote 12 with 11 zeros. Then I counted back to where it would be 1.2, and I saw that I had to make 12 moves. So my answer would be 1.2 times 10 to the 12th. So remember that. It's a lot easier for me to write it out and then come back to make sure I get it right. Okay, the fourth example, 2 times 10 to the negative 5th times 3 times 10 to the negative 7th. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. 10, add negative 5, negative 7, negative 12. It's 6.0, I could write it at it, but it's 6, one whole number and a decimal, times that. Here's my fifth example. 5 times 10 to the 3rd power times 7 times 10 to the negative 8th power. I multiply 5 and 7, get 35. 10, 3 plus a negative 8 is a negative 5. Well, 35 is not in scientific notation, so I'm writing it out. So my decimal's here. I went over 5 spaces. This was my answer, 0.00035. I counted over 1, 2, 3, 4. So my new answer would be 3.5 times 10 to the negative 4. This concludes your lessons for this week. Only got about a week left of school, 2 weeks, so you should be getting ready for this to finish up. If you have any questions to you can always email me, call me, whatever needs to be done, I'll be willing to help. Okay, have a good day. Bye.